Okay, welcome. This is
Hey,
Leftovers.
how
Hi,
are
Trey.
we? Hi, Caesar. Long time no see.
Let's do
Oh,
this.
okay.
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 Okay. People, you don't have a clue about how hard this was since, I'm watching my clock and
40
was
minutes we've been working on this.
Yeah, it was so hard, but
It's
finally
okay.
we're here.
It's
But
okay.
finally we're
Yep.
here, and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad
Same.
to see your hair
Yeah.
that I hate it so much because you have that ability to be bald. It's your free will. Like today I want to be bald. Today I want to have hair. That is
Yeah.
something that people like me doesn't have. You're
It's a new product that I'm using, I think. It's my own
oh,
special tonic that I'm gonna sell, I think. So we'll
wow,
see how that goes. Be a side hustle.
wow. Hmm.
No, not really.
I will buy it.
I know you will.
I
I know you.
yes, I will.
Okay, my first customer.
Yeah, I will be.
Everything
I can
going okay?
I can make you a campaign. Yeah, everything is going okay right now. We had a severe storm like a few days ago. Kind of weird for this season of the year here, but it was a severe storm with a lot of wind and a lot of rain and a lot of leaking out of my roof, stuff like that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's fall there, right? Is it fall?
yeah,
Consider.
it is. It is fall. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, it's
but anyway,
spring and almost summer.
yeah, yeah, I know that. I know that.
Well,
Well, anyways, it's good. Good thing is here, yeah. The last storm wasn't so good, but here it's no as cold as Austin is in wintertime. Here
oh,
here
okay.
is about the wind. Here is about the rain. So if you are not really prepared for that, yeah, you will have a hard time, like we had a few for the couple days.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, glad
but
you're okay. The family's good. All your
family,
kids good. Otto
family is
okay.
good. Kids are okay, and yeah, yeah
Awesome.
we are grateful to be here and enjoy this uh, because we didn't enjoy this month for in the past few years. So it's fine. It's new.
Good. Good. Well, I
Okay,
love seeing
great.
your face. Yes.
Let's talk about the sermon. Let's talk about the
Okay.
last
John
sermon.
15,
Yeah, it was the fifth Sunday of Easter.
Eastertide. Yep.
Easter time. Yeah.
Vine and the branches.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a
I
good
have my
Sunday. It's
notes.
something I really enjoyed. If you've got questions, fire away. Maybe it'll spur something in us.
No, that's fine. Let's start talking, and I have a few notes that I really want to address that because yeah, I was hearing your sermon this morning, and yeah, I enjoyed the sermon, and there's a few things that I would like to talk a little bit more. But
Okay.
go ahead.
So building a little bit on the deconstruction, I felt like that's where it landed for me, was in the deconstruction, being able to prune away stuff in our spiritual lives that have either caused us pain or caused us um,
Trauma.
what's the word? What's that trauma? But also just not clarity. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been looking for we've been looking for answers, and everything's kind of a jumbled mess. And so sometimes you've got to cut away some of the things that cause you the most strife, and get back to focusing on the main thing, which is obviously Jesus and His love
Right.
for us. And so um, I hit on, I mentioned this word for those evangelical parents. And you may have heard this. I said, if your evangelical parents are giving you grief over deconstruction, maybe that word's come up, maybe it hasn't,
Mm.
and they're struggling with that, use the word revival. And
Yes.
honestly, I said that word, and I didn't look it up until this morning. But I did look it up in this morning, and it says in the Oxford Language Dictionary, it's an improvement in the condition or strength of something, would be a revival. Now, in the
Mm.
Christian context,
Yeah.
in Christian revivalism, is an increased spiritual interest or renewal in the life of a Christian church, congregation, or society within the local, national, or global effect. And
Right.
I think those both apply. I mean, you've probably been a part of revivals in the past.
Yeah.
I have too. I've been to revivals. That word's been thrown around a lot. And I always took it to mean a guest speaker comes from out of town and he brings this new, fresh word and everybody gets fired up and saved over it, right?
Right.
But what he's really doing is creating a renewed spiritual interest
Yes.
for somebody who may be lacking from, you know, just something's missing in your journey, and you're trying to figure out what it is. And so it's just that renewed interest, that new vigor, I guess is a good word. I don't know if you know that word or not, but
Hmm.
and so that's what it's been for me. And so I that's a word of encouragement. I think that's what Jesus was trying to do when he was talking to his disciples about pruning and remaining in the vine, remaining in him. And so I just think that's an overall good word.
You know,
So
I didn't hear before the pruning word associated with deconstruction, which I think is a great word to associate with. But I didn't hear the word pruning associated with revival. It's like, yeah, it's hard for me. It was hard for me until I heard your sermon to associate the pruning work with revival, because revival looks, I mean, I come from a Pentecostal church.
right,
Revivals are something that everyone was, you know, desiring so much. Like,
right,
and you have kinds of prophecies saying that the revival will start from that place and for another place, or maybe from your
right,
place. And the people get really excited because about that. And revival means a lot of things, like especially things very associated with the emotions and the spiritual awakening. But and I think that is something that is good and is healthy for so many people. Also, could be something really bad. I don't want to enter into that field,
right,
but creating a second association, like pruning is deconstruction, pruning is revival. At a certain point, we can associate also deconstruction could be a kind of a revival,
right,
and for so many people in ANC, there was deconstruction in that place. It was a revival for someone that is was okay. I'm hopeless to follow Jesus. I don't want to go to the church again because I'm tired of all of this abuse. And deconstruction become a real revival, which is an association that I never thought before. And I think it's
yeah.
great.
Well, if you find, I think for those of us that find ourselves in church during and after deconstruction,
Mm.
that we're looking to build upon the faith foundation that we have. Maybe we tear it all the way down. You know, like
Yeah,
you know about the fire that we have in our church. We have that
yeah,
fire in that portable building.
yeah.
You know, sometimes you've got to take some stuff out in order to rebuild it. And sometimes if it's a catastrophic deconstruction, you may take it all the way down to the foundation.
Right.
But if you're still willing and you're still finding yourself putting yourself in places of spiritual growth and spiritual awareness, i.e., the church, i.e., ANC, or I mean, there's other churches out there, but I think you're trying to rebuild something, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think the pruning aspect of it creates, like I was talking about in the tree, when they go in and they not only they rate the an arborist comes in and he cuts all the little branches out from the inside the tree. It's creating air up inside the tree. It's raising the canopy. It's allowing the tree to breathe maybe more freely. And
Hmm.
I see so many similarities in our spiritual journeys
Right.
of being bogged down by dogmas and doctrines and old spiritual habits and teachings, and getting that stuff just pruned away and cleared up so that we can then breathe again, breathe in something new and exciting and fresh, being able to hear from God maybe for the first time in years.
Right.
Um, and I
Yeah,
sent
right.
something. I sent something to the staff this morning. I said, "You guys have got to see this." It was a YouTube of a pastor in San Antonio. I don't know their affiliation, but and I think you may have gotten it too. If not, I'll send it to you. But it was such a beautiful thing. And I sent it to I sent it to several friends too. And I just said, this morning something awakened in me that I feel like I had been missing for a while. And it was just this pastor's interaction with one of his congregants and a homeless guy, and it was live. It was raw. Anyway. If you're interested in it, reach out to me. I will send you the links to it. It's pretty amazing, and but again, it's just being receptive to new, fresh wind,
Right.
new, fresh word. So that's what I think revival is and can be. And so
Yeah.
that's why I related it to pruning.
Yeah. Also, what I really enjoy was hearing you saying this phrase. I'm not quoting exactly because it's just my memory. When you said, uh, "This mean this," or at least it's the way that I decided that I want to approach to this verse, something like that. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember.
it was the verse 6 in there that talked about golly, Caesar, you put me on the spot now. But I know it was verse 6, and it's basically been used in the church in the church background that I grew up in. It
Uh-huh.
had been used to instill fear
Right.
in in me, or at least that's the way it felt to me, was that um, if I wasn't in line with this, if I wasn't attached to the vine appropriately, then I would be cut away and cast into the fire. And I took
Mm.
that, and I think it even was probably explained to me as the fires of hell.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's a fearful thing. But the way I looked at it was um, somebody that's not somebody that's using their position or power of influence incorrectly as a person of faith, incorrectly, devoid of love, devoid of the inclusion and the acceptance that we have. Um, those folks are in the jeopardy that they preach about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
Um,
The point that I was, I mean, the thing was that impacted me when you said that is usually people don't recognize that every time that we approach to the Bible, we negotiate the meaning of the text
yep.
every time. Even
Right.
even the people that says this is the Bible, this is what it says, this is what it means, and there's no other no, that guy is negotiating the meaning of the text because is
It's
choosing
clear.
the
It's
text.
clear. It's clear to him. It's clear to him, and it's clear to him in that moment. And like I'm saying, this is clear to me in my moment. You don't have to believe it.
Yeah, but
We don't.
that honesty that you express Sunday morning, saying this is my approach. That honesty, we are in a lack of that honesty in other places. Like
Mm,
this is, I mean that's what I'm trying to say. That I really appreciate when you recognize this is my approach. Okay, this is my approach. This is how this makes sense to me, because
right.
that allows people also to go to the Bible in a more friendly way. I mean, it's not
Right.
like, okay, I need to read this and I need to agree with all the previous interpretation that everybody told me.
Right.
It's
Right.
like I can go and maybe that will make sense to me in a different way, and it's fine. And that's why
Right.
you also said that we need to maybe to talk and to this to communicate when something is not really clear for us, but it's for
Right.
us as a community, which is
Right.
something it's beautiful.
Right. And I think what the rabbi had told us previously was it's not necessarily this Bible, this scripture that he uses, the scripture that we use. I mean, we use their scripture as well.
Right.
It's not necessarily, not all the times, a book of answers, but a book of asking the right questions about. How can I best apply this in my life today? Like it may be, and I may look at that 5 years from now and think something totally different, and I think that's okay. And you may look at that same verse today and think something totally different. And that's okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, Caesar. I appreciate that we're kind of on the same page in that, not on the maybe not on the scripture, but in that we can look at scripture, hold it loosely, and allow the scripture to speak to us today in a way that it may not have done in the past.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And also, well, you mentioned the rabbi, and something that is very interesting. I heard this from another rabbi is that the Hebrew Bible they don't have vowels. It's just
Yeah.
consonants, and
Right.
so that's why that allows them to create all kinds of word playing because they can
Right.
change the word. So one rabbi says that every time they go to Torah and they start to read it, it's like they're creating meaning every time because
A new a new narrative.
it's in a new narrative. And
Hmm.
yeah, that sounds for me is beautiful. And I want to point something more that maybe could be useful for some folks about the problematic verse that you just said, because for it's like I received exactly the same information that you received, Trey. Like if God will you remove and you will go to hell. It's like if you're not like this and in this branch, you will be cast out and you will burn.
Burned. Right.
Yeah, and it's something that is this is something that is common to all the Johannine tradition. The Johannine tradition was a very I'm sorry if this word sounds offensive for some people, but the Johannine tradition was very sectarian in
Hmm.
some way. It was something like we are the people of God, and if
Right.
someone is out of our circle, they are not. And this is the kind of tradition that is behind those kind of
Mm.
verses. That is not in other places of the gospel. I mean, there's no in
Right.
Matthew,
Right.
Mark, and Luke. It's just in Johannine tradition.
Right.
And so maybe something related with that is in that verse. So it's good to realize that yeah, even the authors of the Bible, even the authors of the Gospels, they're not always in the same page.
Right.
And
Well, I mean, it like, and I alluded to this too, that it's even in contradiction to what Jesus said previously in verse 3, which is, I mean, if we're to believe that we're going to be cast out, if we believe that to be a salvation, a salvific issue, verse 3 clearly states, you're already clean because of the word I've spoken to you.
yeah,
So Christ is saying, you don't
proclaim.
worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. Just remain in me and bear
right.
fruit.
Yeah,
So anyway, I take comfort in that as well.
yeah. Oh, Trey. Well, I'm sorry. This is my dog. Let me show you Pancho. Hello, Pancho.
There he is.
He's been sick for a few months. Actually, yeah, he's sick about an illness that doesn't have so many hopes for him.
Oh
So,
no.
so we are treating him well because yeah, he's been our dog since the last 10 or 11 years. So it's the dog of the family, you know.
Right,
Is
right, right.
trying to take good care of him until
Sure.
the last day. Oh,
Yep.
that breaks my heart.
Yep.
My friend, always is a pleasure to talk with you, and I really
Lovely.
appreciate that you have the patience to fix all the technical issues. Oh my goodness, that severe technical issues situation I never faced before in one of our leftovers,
It
and
all worked out.
you
It all
had
worked out.
there. So I really thank you, Trey, to be patient.
Thank you. Caesar, love you, man. Miss you.
Love you too.
I love seeing your son when I see him. So anyway,
And he
hustle
loves
back
to
out
see
this
you.
way.
And he loves to see you too. Believe it or not,
I
I don't
know.
know if he is not very expressive, but he really appreciates you a lot. Let me tell you that.
Good. Good. All right, man.
Okay,
Be good. Tell everybody I said hi.
love
Peace
you,
and
brother.
blessings.
Yeah.
Love you.